And welcome everybody. I'm JD,
And I'm Gail.
and you're tuned in to Gail Force.
From deep inside Bunker Foxtrot, located somewhere under the swamps of Central Florida, it's Gale Force.
Well, woohoo! We made it through another week. How you been doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Again, you're tuned in to Gale Force. I'm JD. That's Gail. Real quick, if you want to find us on YouTube, it's under Gale Force Creations. You can find us under BitTube also under Gale Force, and you can find us on Facebook under Every Bit Matters. And I almost did a Steemit post this week too. You can find us on Steemit.
Oh, be still my beating heart.
Well, it's Sunday, May something.
19th.
19th? All right. And we have a fantastic show planned for you today. So what's on the agenda?
Yeah, right. Oh, you're in for a treat. We're going to wing it, and you got to be careful when we're doing adult beverages and winging it.
That's it. This is what I planned for today. It's my mimosa. It's not champagne, but I don't know what we're celebrating, but we did. I did give you those few beers, the coconut.
Yeah,
toasted coconut.
Yeah, toasted
porter.
Coconut porter. It was
from
pretty
Orange
good.
Blossom Brewery or wherever they are.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Shout out to those guys. Thanks for the beer. We really don't know what's on the agenda. We're just going to kind of like wing it. We know there's a few things happening. Real quick, let's get this out of the way. Let's do some new news here, and we'll get into the new news. And I'm thinking that there's something yeah, small little military build-up. We have, I guess, two drunken bar guys, what do you call them, patrons or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And one thinks he's got a bigger penis than the other guy thinks he's got a bigger penis. So
and they don't even and they're fighting over a girl at the bar, and she's wearing a burqa, and they don't know if she's even got a
that's it. They have no idea what they're fighting for. But yeah, there's some crap going over in the Middle East. Iran's threatening us, and of course we're threatening Iran. And we do have to mention that President Trump said that he wasn't going to start any new wars, and he's done pretty good on that. This is a little disconcerting what's happening in Iran. But Iran might be shaking some sabers. So I don't know. What's your take on what's happening in the Middle East? Because this goes back 50, 60 years.
Oh yeah, at least it goes back 50, 60 years. If you want to go back, you can go back all the way back to the British in the early 1900s.
And being a radical capitalist I'm thinking that we need to get our forces out of the Middle East. Like you said, Russia's kind of concerned that we're over on their side of the world, and we get concerned when they come on our side of the world, and yet we keep all our bases. I just can't. I'm a little upset because of all our military bases, Russia had to build their country so close to all our military bases over there. If they'd have put their country somewhere else, it'd have been a little better. But here we are telling everybody to stay out of everybody's business, and what do? We're in everybody's business.
And looking for the next one to get into.
Everybody's worried about Russia and our elections, but they don't seem to be concerned about us with other countries' elections.
Now we're not un-American. We're just saying that.
We're just pointing out facts.
The fact is there are entities in our system that don't have. They claim they've got America's best interest in mind. It's like how many coups in the last 40 years, how many countries in South America have we clandestinely sent CIA forces in there to overthrow governments and stuff like that?
No, we've done it all around the world.
Panama, Bolivia, Ecuador, the thing with the Colombia going back 45 years ago.
And now we're trying to do Venezuela. Who knows? They haven't been in the news much lately. I wonder what's going on in Venezuela. I really haven't read it. But yeah, everybody's concerned about Russia being in our politics, and here we are.
Everyone else.
For the last 100 years, we've been in. There's not many countries what we haven't been involved in.
Yeah.
So it's a little scary over there right now. We get sent over a big naval group over there.
To the Middle East, yes.
Yeah, we sent a couple B-52 bombers. Those things still flying strong.
Good mechanics.
Yeah.
Good mechanics.
That's American industry for you. We make them good. Unless we make them somewhere else, and we don't make them so good. But yeah, there's some stuff going over there in Iran, so there could be. I don't know. I don't think we want to be in a war, and I think there are some generals out there that say maybe we need to go in there and take care of business. I don't know. I think war's bad. It's never really helped
Okay.
anybody.
As was Mr. Mackey on South Park, it's like, okay,
Mm.
war's bad, okay. No,
So we're keeping an eye on that. That really hasn't. That's funny because you would think that would hit the stock market. Trouble in the Middle East and going to war, starting a new war.
Well, no, because you got the defense industry, so those stocks are going to go up because they're going to print billions of dollars.
Okay. Because the only thing that's really hurting the stock market right now is the trade war going on between China and us.
Interest rates have a lot to do with it.
But you did mention something earlier that I really didn't know about Canada dumping. Are they dumping treasuries?
Yes. So everybody thinks with this trade war that the United States. You want to put my conspiracy thing up?
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. Let's get to the conspiracy.
Yeah, okay. I was listening to a report from one person. He was talking about it that because of this trade war, everybody's afraid that because you got what 1.3 trillion dollars worth of our treasuries and debt that we owe China.
Right. Yeah.
So they're thinking, well, this trade war, that China's going to dump their debt. Believe it or not, this last month or so, there was like, just this month, there was like $22 billion worth of treasuries that were dumped.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But 17 billion of the 22 billion was, no, 12 billion of the 22 billion was Canada.
I didn't really know they held that much of our debt, but I guess.
Well, the thing is for a long time, and a lot of people don't realize it, is I know I jokingly said about people aren't coming from South America and Central America to the United States for jobs because all of our cars and stuff are made in Mexico. So they want good jobs. They should stop in Mexico and not come here.
Yeah.
But they're coming here for free stuff. They're not coming here to work. They're coming for free stuff.
They're coming for the free stuff. Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later.
With Canada, you have to remember in the 80s and the 90s and up in the early, everything, your Ford and GM, well, see, GM mostly went to Mexico.
Yeah.
Ford went to Canada.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had a 2000 Mazda B2500 pickup truck. And the Mazda and the Ford Ranger pickup trucks were made in Canada.
Where mine was.
And my 2000 had a thing right on there that was made in Canada. So Canada, Ford has a lot of assembly plants and stuff like that in Canada.
Yeah, right across the border there.
But it's Canada, so naturally, because of the trade thing, they're holding U.S. treasuries and stuff to help keep their market propped up. Canada, because of the things going down, there's a worldwide slowdown. All you got to do is look to the.
They're having problems.
It's called the Baltic Dry Index. Okay, and that gives you the index of how shipping is around the world. Like you see these big container ships that go around the world and stuff. Well, all the worldwide, the majority of the worldwide shipping is container ships.
Yeah.
It's slowing down. Because there's a slowdown, all the super rich Chinese had bought all kinds of housing and stuff and land in Australia. So there's another country.
Yeah, Australia does about a third of their business with China and Asia. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of property and houses and stuff, which ran the price of all their housing way up. I mean, way up. They were going to Canada to get their money out of China, and they bought a lot of houses. When you talk to your brother, because you guys have roots in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of houses, like say a 2,000 square foot house in Canada, around.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Was it Montreal or Toronto?
Pick one.
Either one. A lot of, like say, a 2,000 square foot house that you might buy in Florida and spade.
Not a fancy house. Just
Yeah, between $250,000 to $350,000 in Florida. Decent house, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,000 square foot house. You'll be paid between $250,000 and $350,000. That same size house, that they call them McMansions. They're like $2-3 million up in Canada.
yeah, hard to believe. Just a regular subdivision house is $1 million. Yeah,
And they've
it's
run the
ridiculous.
price up so much that since China's economy is slowing down, and the way you have the tax structure and the loan structure in Canada, because like your brother let us know, like home mortgages have to be refinanced or renegotiated every 5 years.
Yeah, he says most of them are interest only right now.
Right. So a lot of that stuff getting dumped because China's economy is actually, we hear all this stuff in the news about how Bush did this and Obama did that and Trump did this. And we've got $22 trillion of debt. From 2008, where we had Obama come in, we had like $8 trillion in debt. Right now we got like 21 or 22.
Yep.
China had $10 trillion of debt in 08, 09, and right now they have 40.
Oh yeah, they're
$40 trillion of debt.
They're off the gauge. Yeah.
And they're looking, because the U.S. dollar is so strong and because of all this trade embargo, what the Chinese are doing, they're starting to devalue their currency.
Yep. That means our dollar is getting stronger.
And Canada, they don't have the money, and a lot of these people are just walking away from the houses and investing stuff in Canada and writing them off on their taxes in China.
Yeah, you thought the housing crisis was bad here in 2008 for us. Wait till later this year in Canada. It could be pretty darn bad.
Oh, they've got their housing thing month over month has been year over year for the month. Okay, was down like 20%. So if you have every single month, you're down anywhere from 15-20% from the year before.
Yeah.
That means you can't add all those numbers together. But as a total, their total housing market is having a serious problem because things are.
When all your monthly money goes to your house payment, and you're only paying the interest, you're not even paying on the principal yet.
Right.
That's big problem.
So the banks, who are backstopped by the central bank, we call it the Federal Reserve here, it's just a central bank system.
Yep.
They're holding notes on all this property, and it's a $2 or $3 million house that's only worth maybe $300,000, and all they've been doing is interest-only payments. They're gonna do like oh my God, the banks are going under, wah 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 wah, and they're gonna be looking for a bailout. So
I don't think they might. They're not a big enough country to do a bailout. If everybody there starts doing bankruptcy and foreclosures, and there's nobody to buy up the property, I can see some banks up in Canada. I don't know how big their banking system is, but they could have some problems, real problems, and that could just cascade coming down.
Well, it's already affecting because we were talking about this pre-show, okay? In Florida, Gulf states, okay, Florida, South Texas, we have what's called snowbirds.
Yeah. And
that's the people from Michigan up into Canada,
north of Gainesville.
Yeah, way north of Gainesville. Well, the northern people, they come to Florida and South Texas in motorhomes and travel trailers, and they spend 4 or 5 months. Okay, because they have to have 6 months of rest. They have to have, I think it's like 6 months and a week of residence. They have to stay in their houses to be considered a full-time resident in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. So it has to be six months and a week to be a full-time resident. So they come into Florida. They go to South Texas, down towards Corpus Christi, beautiful down there. Go down to Corpus Christi area down there, Padre Island. It's like going over to Merritt Island in Florida. But the rich people that have a winter home in Central and Southern California, where there are these 20, 30, $40 million homes and stuff, I saw a guy doing with a doggone handy cam video going around in this really rich area. There's whole shopping malls.
Oh.
Well, there's only 2 or 3 businesses open.
Yeah, I saw that video. These are posh shops, you know, high end.
Oh yeah,
merchandise.
We're talking about almost Rodeo Drive type thing, okay? And they're Canadians, and they just And the thing is they were bought with money, not from California. They were bought with money on the Canadian banks. So now you have an international banking problem. So the Canadian banks hold the note on California property, and everybody's trying to see. They play hot potato, see which bank can screw which bank.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like now.
And
which one's going to survive, you know?
And a lot of banks, we touched on this earlier. Okay, just in the Orlando area. Okay, I told you about SunTrust and BB&T combining, and some of the credit unions are combining.
Yep.
There's a couple other ones. I had the name, I didn't write it down. But there's another regional bank type thing. There's a couple of regional banks that are gelling together. I can't remember what they call themselves now, but anyway.
A lot of consolidation.
They're consolidating because they see it coming. And because it's coming, they're trying to get themselves where they're putting the crappy debt on some other banks, and they're making this one look strong enough because the next round of stuff that hits the fan, they're looking to survive. And people say, what difference does it make? Well, the difference it makes if you can put all the bad debt on something that you can wash away or write off, and you can keep your bank solvent with good property, gold, silver, and other things like that, when you go to the other side, because markets go up, markets go down. We've had
all the time
too much up and not enough down, so there has to be a down coming.
Yep.
So they're positioning themselves when this next major pullback happens. Now, by major pullback, I'm talking about going from Dow 26,000 down to 14,000. I'm talking about
that's a dump.
I'm talking about a major pullback.
Yep.
And housing, this will run way up. It's probably going to, instead of going down 40% like it did last time, it's going to go down 60%.
Ooh.
Okay. And they're positioning themselves so that on the other side, and believe me, people, if there is a banking crisis and the banks close off, hot damn, I don't have to pay for my house. Yes, you do.
Yeah, they don't stop.
The new bank will wind up wanting their money for the car. The new bank will wind up wanting money for the motorhome, travel trailer, boat, and the house.
It's going to hurt.
And the new bank, let's say you owe $300,000 on a house, they may write off $50,000 or $60,000 to make you feel good, but the majority of the money they're not going to write off.
Yeah.
Person that goes to work every day and collects a paycheck, an hourly wage person, you're the one that pays. Businesses don't pay.
Businesses don't pay.
Billionaires don't pay.
And the poor don't pay.
The poor get free stuff, and everybody in the middle pay for everything.
Yep. I just can't. That's what I can't. People that haven't figured that out.
There is no free.
Just drives me nuts.
There is no free. And this stuff with the Middle East, what does Venezuela and Iran make the United States? There's different grades of oil. If you get on like the MSNBC or the Fox Business, and they start talking about light sweet crude and Brent crude, there's different grades of oil, and they need a thick oil and a light oil, and then mix it together, a blended thing, so that when they take and they turn it into gasoline, diesel, or distillate products.
Jet fuel, kerosene.
Well, distillate products that use in plastics and everything else. They need a blend of heavy crude, a light sweet crude, Venezuela, because of the grade of their oil, they can take a barrel of that and a barrel of the stuff in the Middle East, talking about 100 gallons. They can literally get at least 95 to 100 gallons of products because of the way they break it down. If you take straight Venezuelan stuff, you lose about 20%.
Yeah.
If you use straight Middle East stuff, you get about 80%. You lose so much.
There's an art to it.
There's an art to it, and they mix things. So that's the deal. If oil, let's say oil jumps up to $100 a barrel, if you're paying $2.50 to $3 a gallon for gasoline in the state you're at, it's going to be like it was at the end of Bush 43. You're talking about $4 to $4.50 a gallon. Because of all the free stuff in California, their gas is between $4.50 and $5 a gallon.
I think they're already there, Al.
They're between $4.50 and $5 a gallon right now. You're talking at least $1.50 to $2 a gallon gasoline increase instantly. And that's going to take, because a large majority of our electricity is still done by petroleum products.
Yep.
If you have a $150 a month electric bill, it's liable to go to $200.
Yeah.
And that's going to make everything in the store go up, everything in the grocery store go up, because they have to have diesel fuel for the trucks to haul it. The farmers have to have diesel fuel for those big old tractors running around the field. You're going to pay for it at the cash register.
Well, since we're speaking about cash register, there's some, might as well get into the real quick, the China trade deficit or whatever, the trade war is going on. Real quick, we'll just do it real quick. You know, remember that, you know, there's 23, 24, or 124. I can't remember how many Democrats are running for president right now. And they're all pushing some form of socialism. And then we remember seeing our president Trump saying that there would never be no socialism in America. That's not going to happen. Well, it looks like the farmers are getting hurt really, really bad by this trade war, soybeans and stuff like that.
And the weather.
And they're losing a lot of money. And Trump is just going to give them a wad of cash to kind of hold them over. So it sounds like he's doing a little bit of that socialism too by giving, you know, money from me and you and our engineer back here, Kim, and everybody else to pay the farmers to kind of be quiet for a while until they get over this trade war. So trade war is making prices going up. Matter of fact, Walmart just announced that, guess what? They're rolling prices back up. They were rolling prices down, but now they have to roll prices back up because of the trade war.
Well, that's because about 80% of the products in a Walmart come from China.
That's it. So, you know, you're going to be looking at higher prices for everything for a while until they get this all figured out. And, you know,
because of the world economy, what you have to realize, are you going to pay for it a little bit at a time?
Yeah.
Or are you going to bite the bullet and pay for a lot of it at once?
A big jump or something, yeah.
Okay. Now, yeah, some of what Trump's doing may appear on the surface to be evil. But Trump's attempting. That's not his doing.
I'm hoping he's got something up his sleeve.
If you take and make it so uncomfortable for people because the price keeps going up,
yeah,
we'll start making stuff in America again. Now he's going to have to take and put a muzzle on the EPA, but if you start making, and some of the union stuff, if you take and start making stuff in America, it's going to cost more. But you're going to have jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're going to pay more no matter what.
Yeah, eventually. I mean,
even without this trade war, because of the way the fiat money system works, it is. Yeah. It's an expanding economy.
And the way the central bank works, we're going to have inflation, and inflation is just not a natural cause of higher prices, but government cause.
It's a bank.
But we're going to pay more for everything, one way or another, right now.
Because inflation eats away. We've explained before how you in the 1960s you take a silver dollar, 1 ounce of silver, and buy 5 gallons of gas.
Yep.
And today you can take a Silver Eagle, which is 1 ounce of silver, and you can buy about 6 or 7 gallons of gas, about 6 gallons of gas.
Yep.
So
you're going to pay higher prices. Either the government, the government's causing it all, either by the trade war, by inflation, or by moving manufacturing over here. And until
and we're
we,
giving away so much stuff. Where's the money coming from?
yeah, until we
If
find,
we don't have jobs, you can't even tax
That's it.
businesses because you can't tax McDonald's and make everybody get $15 or $20 an hour. The price of your hamburger is going to be $8 or $9 a piece for hamburgers.
And then people are going to stop going there, and then that
And
puts
what's
them out of
gonna
business.
happen?
It doesn't.
You health food nuts, let me tell you what's going to
There's
happen.
no easy way out of this.
Tell you what's going to happen, health food nuts. When it gets that expensive, people are going to live on rice, pasta, and potatoes, and you're going to have obesity is going to double.
Yeah,
Diabetes is going to double.
That's a whole nother show. Let's don't get into that.
I'm just saying, it's all interconnected. It's an interconnected world, and people. That's too much to talk about. Well,
I don't think there's no easy way out.
You're going to suffer.
Yeah, there's no easy way out.
You just choose which way you're going to suffer.
All right, real quick before we're getting close to the end, but real quick, I just wanted to bring up something about global warming, because Biden's back in the he's in the race now, and everybody's talking about. I'm just gonna make this real quick on how we got to save the earth, and the thing that I read that caught my eye is, right now everybody's worried about the ocean, the rise of the oceans.
Oh yeah.
We hear it's going to rise.
Florida's going to disappear.
It's going to rise 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet, or whatever. Most of Florida's going to be under or whatever. Well, I just read this report that off the coast of Spain, there's something happening under the ocean that has got scientists kind of perplexed. All right, and I think this is the Earth's way of regulating the temperature or whatever.
Well, the Earth is a living, breathing
thing. It's a living, breathing thing, yeah. And what's happening is we have what's called the
tectonic
I'm gonna
plates.
put my picture up here. We have the tectonic plates. You have normally what happens is you have plates that go underneath one, and it forces the other, and that's how you get mountains. It keeps going up, and you get mountains. Okay. Well, what's happening under the coast of Spain is the plates aren't pushing up against it; they're pulling apart, and it's kind of got the scientists kind of perplexed. Well, what this is going to do is, as they pull apart,
going to create a void.
Yeah, that water has to go somewhere, so the ocean level is going to decrease. So what I'm thinking right now is, I would recommend everybody getting your dune buggy, your big diesel doing dump truck or whatever, and now's the time to go party. We can pump CO2 in there, because if the sea level is going to decrease, and then we're going to have, you could be on your condo there on the beach, and right now the ocean's only maybe 100 feet away. Well, if this plate keeps pulling apart and the water gets sucked down farther in the earth, it might be a mile before you get to the ocean.
You won't have oceanfront property.
Yeah, you won't have oceanfront property. So people, you better start spewing some CO2 out there. When you go drive somewhere, put it to the floor. Let's build some more fires. We got to keep the sea level up so everybody has their
oceanfront property.
Yeah, that's my thinking. I don't know if that really plays into it. I'm not a scientist, but I play one on YouTube. But that's my take on it. So I just had to throw that in there. I'm not worried about sea level anymore. The sea levels are going down because
there have been so many volcanoes pop off in this last year.
Yeah, you're telling me about that. Is there?
Well, the thing is,
activity.
The activity is way up. Earthquake activity is up. Volcanic activity is up. When you're spewing all that volcanic ash into the air, most of the time it's silica.
Yeah.
Now, silica, in case you don't realize, the people, silica sand is what they make glass from.
Oh, you're just saying that from a conspiracy theorist point of view.
Yeah. Well, what they taught me in school was that silica sand is what they use to make glass. So, because of that reflective quality, that being the atmosphere, it's going to reflect some of the UV rays from the sun.
So we're all going to be white pasty guys like you?
It's going to be like Ragnarok and the doggone Odin thing. You're going to have a long winter coming because you're reflecting away heat. If the tectonic plates spread,
yeah.
I'll get my hands up. If the tectonic plates spread, and all the water goes down in there.
We got to make up for it. And that, I'm not saying you should.
Well, you can buy property right now that's dirt cheap because it's underneath like a glacier or something like that. Buy it.
One day
when
it
the
might
glacier recedes back, your grandchildren can be billionaires because you bought the property.
Oceanfront?
No.
Oh.
Good farmland is
Good farmland, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I get see, we kind of give you some good information on this show. And while we're here, if you are watching us, if you just go below here on YouTube and just please give us a subscribe and a like. We'd appreciate that. We do this show live every Sunday here in the Bunker Foxtrot here, somewhere under the Central Florida swamplands. You can find us on YouTube under Gale Force Creations, under BitTube under Gale Force, under Facebook under Every Bit Matters, and Steam It under Every Bit Matters. So have we missed anything?
Not really. We have any sponsors yet?
No, we need to start working at that. Well, we did get a little bit of free beer. I don't have the beer in front of us, but we'll get some more beer.
Yeah.
So we do that. Any quick crypto news while we're here?
Oh, crypto news.
I don't have. Oh, crypto time. Here we go. Real quick, we got like 3 minutes. What can we do in crypto?
Well, right now.
You said something about a flash crash?
Yeah, it was a flash crash the other, because Bitcoin had run way the heck up. Well, not by way up, but I mean.
It has doubled since the last quarter of 2018, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. When's the S&P do that?
Right. Well, let's put it this way. In December, when Bitcoin hit its bottom at 32, Litecoin hit its bottom at like 22 or 24, somewhere in that area. So if you bought Litecoin in December, probably about December 12th, at $24.
You could have pretty much tripled your money?
Yes. Tripled your money from December till now.
And this might have to do a little bit, we're not too sure, and we were kind of like talking about this earlier, and this wonderful gentleman, Democrat, he wants to ban crypto. And a lot of people say that had a little bit to do with the price going up.
A little bit, yeah.
But you're not going to ban, as I was explaining to Gail, you're not going to ban Bitcoin or Litecoin. It's protected under the First Amendment. You got to remember Bitcoin, Litecoin, the blockchain, anything to do with digital currency, that's all software.
Right.
It's computer software, and in the 90s, computer software was declared
free speech.
Free speech. It's protected under the First Amendment.
Especially if it's open source. Now,
yep.
If it's something that's written in machine language and it's proprietary like Microsoft, then that's another thing. But if it's open,
no, that's still free speech because they can patent it or whatever.
They can patent it. If it's open source, you can't patent it.
Yeah.
So if it's a non-patentable thing,
but it's
still open source, then it does.
And it's free speech. So we got these fools thinking they can ban it. They can't really ban it. They might try to put some restrictions on it, but there's no way you're not going to get rid of it.
They may do an extra tax on the sales.
Yeah, you might have tax on it, but you're not going to get rid of it. Don't worry, guys. The government can't ban Bitcoin. They can't throw you in jail for it. It's free speech, so don't worry about that.
They've tried that for over, they've been trying that since about 2012?
Yeah.
And they did that raid in Australia because they thought they'd found Satoshi Nakamoto or some silly stuff.
Nothing they can do. Here in America, it's free speech. That's the one good thing about Bitcoin is if you need to protect it, you can come here. Even though we have idiots up in Washington trying to ban it, it's not going to happen. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. Because it has nothing to do with gender.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with race or religion. It's an equal opportunity
destroyer of the federal government's control.
Of fiat currency.
Or we could say, be-dunk. So on that note, we got anything else going on?
No, just
Bitcoin. Again, we just want to remind you that if you would, that's not what I want. This is what happens. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's what I want. All this technology nowadays. If you have any questions for us or any comments, or if you want us to talk about any certain subject, we appreciate any comments.
Leave us a comment.
Yeah, you can reach us at galeforcecreations@gmail.com. And again, and YouTube under Gale Force Creations, BitTube under Gale Force, Facebook under Every Bit Matters. And we'll do it again next week.
Absolutely.
I think I'm ready to have another drink.
Me too.
Oh, real quick. We were watching some sumo wrestling outside earlier.
Yes.
And that's interesting. Maybe we can get a sumo wrestler on the show here, and we'll do a live broadcast if we can get a translator.
There you go.
I don't know where that fit in, but I just thought sumo wrestling is pretty cool.
Well, that or we're gonna have somebody from the WWE or something like that, right?
All right, have fun, everybody.
Bye.
We'll do it again next week. All right, go get you some Bitcoin or Litecoin or any kind of coin. Well, if you would, you could donate to us also. Under YouTube, you'll find some donation links. We'd appreciate anything you can throw our way. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right, see you guys.
Bye.